So hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Kai. You're watching Code with Kai, and today we're going to do a machine coding interview question clock. How do we make a clock within 30 minutes or within 20 minutes, whatever you get in a front end interview question. So today we're going to go one step further into animation as well. So the clock that we want to create is something like this. Yeah, so this is the clock that we want to make. So this is the clock that we want to make. Simply, it has three things. It has a hour hand, it has a minute hand, it has a second hand. And as the second hand rotates clockwise direction, then the minute hand is going to rotate one time, right? So we will do some calculation as well how this is going to work. So let's just understand what the clock is. So we have 12 hours format in the clock. That is the general definition of a clock. And in 1 hour we know that we have 60 minutes, and in 1 minute we know that we have 60 seconds. Okay, and there is one more important thing. Since we are dealing with UI of this, so we also want to think about what happens when the second, so this is the second hand, let's just say, and it rotates in this direction. So it becomes something like this. So it is by what degree is it rotating? So that also we have to take care of that. In 1 second, how much degree is it rotating? If we think in terms of that, we have 60 seconds, right? And the entire circle has 360 degrees through 360 degrees. So 1 second is equal to 6 degrees. So that is the basic calculation that we have, and we all know from past. So this is basic calculation that we can make, and we can go ahead and start designing the clock, because I think that is the only requirement that we have to think about. So I'm going to make the UI for this clock first. Let's get back. Already created a code sandbox, and I'm going to make it a full screen. So let's do the clock animation stuff. Okay. First, I'm going to create a clock dev. Just go back and see it is a clock. So width is going to be 300 pixels. So that's the width I want. Height, you can give anything. I'm going to give 300 pixels again. And background color, I'm going to give the background color as, okay, let's just don't give a background color, just give a border. Border 2 pixels solid black. That will makes, yeah, something like this. And then I can give border radius as 50%. So it will become circle. Now the next thing that we want to create is we want to create hands of the clock. So inside the clock we are going to make 3 divs. Clock hand times 3. Yeah, there we go. It is working fine. So clock hand, in this clock hand, the first clock hand is going to be minute hand. The hour hand, let's just give the hour hand, minute hand, and the last one is second hand. Okay, so these are the 3 things we want to create. And for the styles, what we can do is we can simply say clock hand, and we don't want to give any style for this right now. Let's just give minute hand a style and say minute hand with the, let's just give the width of 200 pixel, height as 110 pixel, and let's just give background color as red. So see what happens. It's making a minute hand. I think it's pretty large because we do not want any width to be larger than the half of this particular circle, the radius, half the radius. So if the width is 300 pixel, then the radius size is around 150 pixels, right? So we want to avoid that. So width is 140 pixel at maximum. Yeah, this minute hand is created. Let's create hour hand. Just say this is the hour hand and this is the minute one, and the last one is the second one, right? Second hand. So with this we will create 3 hands of the clock. and let's just give the value cyan, magenta, and red is fine. Okay, so we want to reduce for the hour end. I think the width can be very less, 80 pixels for minute hand. It can be 100 pixels for second, and it can be 120 pixels, something like this. And this is not showing up right there. Yeah, because I made a mistake. Yeah, this looks pretty fine. And all of these three hands we want to give some border. So border radius as 20 pixels. So yeah, it's looking fine. I want to position this out at the center of the clock. So basically I want to give position relative to the clock itself. Position relative. And for this I'm going to give position absolute. There we go. Yeah, so it's overlapping on one another. The next thing what we want to do is we want to say that left as 50% and top as 50%. So it's going to be at the center, nearly at the center. This is looking fine. That is it, the UI of the clock. I don't think so there is much we want to add in this. It's the very basic stuff we created. And clock hand, hour and minute and second hand, that is fine. So there is one more very interesting property of JavaScript that we are not aware of. So first we will learn that out. That is the date property. Console date is equal to new date. If you do something like this and you console.log the date, see what you get. Yeah, you get a date prototype, right? Date prototype object in which you have get months and get seconds and get millisecond, get hours and get full year. And we can actually use that to our advantage right here. What we can do is we can say const month of const minute is equal to date dot get minutes, right? And we can console log this out. And if you do this, we just run this out. Yeah, we're getting a value of 51, right? And we can try to again do something and we get the same value because it has already created the app function. We want to call this particular new date and get minutes again and again in the interval. Okay, so that is the easiest way we can create a clock. So let's just create a useEffect, and it is automatically imported, and we do not want to run it again and again, so only once. And the reason why we are creating useEffect is because to initialize the interval. Const interval, my interval is equal to use setInterval. And in this interval, what we are going to do is we're going to pass 1000 millisecond as the value. And here what we want to do is we want to get the current date. Okay, whatever we wrote, we want to get the current minute, current second as date dot get seconds. And here we also want to get hour as date dot get hours. Okay, so once this is created, we can create a state to hold this value. Set tick is equal to use state hour second hour minute and second. And here we're going to initialize it 0 because otherwise this won't work. We also want to initialize the useState. We also want to import useState, not initialize. Yeah. Then we can do is we can perform a set tick, and here in the tick we can update these values as minute. Okay, Okay, since they both share the same name, we can remove this out and this should just work fine. So set tick hour minute second, this is fine. My interval, we also want to clear interval while and mounting. So clear interval and my interval. So this been done, we have the tick. So let's just see if you are able to see the tick. Let's just give the value as tick dot date, tick dot second. If you let's just see if everything is working as expected. We have 23, 24, 25, 26. It is working as expected that this is the by this we can do this. This is back and tick. So what we can do is we can create two type of clock, digital one as well as analog one. So here I'm going to just give H1 and here I'm just going to give tick dot R colon tick dot second tick dot minute colon tick dot second. Okay, something like this. And there is a sudden, when the component mounted, I saw some kind of a jitter effect, right? So we can avoid that by using the useState here as well. So in making useState as a function and yeah, and returning this out instead, because I can do something like return this out. So let me reload it. Yeah, it works, right? So there is no more jitter. Instead of 2 colons, we can only give 1 colon by showing this guys this out. So we have created a clock, digital clock. I mean, the digital clock is created like this. That is fine. It is not completely correct, but yeah, because we have to pad 0 on the left, but we can ignore that for now. And for on the right side, on the above side, we have created the UI of the clock. But the starting position of the clock should be from this point, that is the 12 should be the starting point, not the 3 p.m. So what we can do is we can go back to style sheet and say that transform business top left that we have given. And the next thing that we want to create is, okay, we want to translate it back. Okay, let's just rotate the entire clock instead. Transform, rotate, and we can rotate the entire clock as minus 90 degree. Yeah, so it created on the it is now on the correct position. So that being said, the clock is on the correct position. With that, what we want to do is we want to start the rotation of the clock. For that, I'm just going to use the inline styles to give styles. I'm going to copy paste this out. There are different methods to achieve this. The simplest, and for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to stick with this. And here I'm going to give transform, rotate, how much do we want to rotate? We want to rotate by, okay, so the rotation we have not calculated it yet, so I'm just going to write a function above const get next angle. Okay, so it's going to take three things. It's going to take hour, it's going to take minute, and it's going to take second as a value from the as a parameter. One single object with three things. It's going to split out value, that is for every hour we want to perform some angle changes, for minute as well, for second as well. And for the minute and second, it is pretty easy. That is, whatever minute we get, whatever second we get, we divide it by 60 and then multiply it by 360. The minute this rule applies, then 360. And for R, what we want to do is we want to convert this in 12-hour format, and then we want to first convert it into 12-hour format, so mod 12. Then we are going to do the same thing by 12, and then we want to multiply it by 360 degrees. Okay, so this is the get next angle, and since it is an arrow function, we have to properly declare it. Yeah, get next angle. Okay, so here we have set the tick, and here also we have to, instead of setting the tick, we can set the angle. Actually, we don't need the tick. This is fine. We can later remove it out. I'm just going to make this right now instead of this. Okay, I'll just update it out. Tick angle, set tick angle. Okay, and instead of returning this like this, we want to pass this to the get next angle function now. And fix this up. You have to repeat this value for others as well. Yeah, and this has fixed, patch that up. The last thing what we want to do is we want to give a clock dot. So dev class name is equal to clock dot. You can make it as a self-closing dev. That is fine. Yeah, there might be some problem. Yeah, class name is equal to clock. Let's just see if this works. Last thing we want to do is create the dot clock dot. We want to give the same with height property. Instead of this 2020 pixel, background color as black. We want to position this out. I'm just going to copy the position absolute, something like this, and then we finally want to fix that using the transform translate. Okay, transform translate -50% and -50%. Yeah, there we go. And the final thing we want to do is make that round. So border radius as 20 pixels should do fine, I guess. Definitely, the clock is looking fine. There is also an overlap between minute hand and the hour hand. So to make this pretty good, what we can do is we can create the height as 8, or let's just say 4 pixel. Yeah, and we can, to make it realistic, we can give the height as, we can give the width as 60. So something like this. Instead of 4, we can give it 6. And here we can give the second hand as 4 pixels. Something like this. Right. So this is working fine. And this is the basic version of the clock that you can create as a developer. And you can ask this question to your junior in the interview. The code is right here. I'm going to share the link of the code, and that's it for the video, I guess. This is the, and after this you can perform bunch of cleanups. If the requirement does not have this digital clock at the bottom, then you can get rid of this tick altogether. Let me show you that as well. I can remove this tick out. I don't actually require the tick. And tick.r, so something like this, that is no longer required. Then you can suffice your So the last thing that you want to do is the cleanup and make the code look appealing if you do have time left for that. So first of all, this style sheet is looking pretty bad. You want to wrap this with a function, maybe const get clock style, clock hand style, and style. This is where you can return the value, return the style as something like this. Yeah, and it's going to take angle in the numbers. I'm just going to give angle and just give it as 0 for now. So get clock hand style, and in the style you can this as angle dot second, angle dot second, right? And for this we can remove this out, self closing, make it self closing. So let's just clean this up. Our minute and the last one is second, minute and hour, looking fine. And this also we can create a utility, get current time, and return hour, minute and second. You get back, get current time, and we can destruct this value from that particular object. Hour, minute and second is equal to get current time. So we can copy and we can replace this entire line out, look something like this. So I think the code is looking pretty legit, and that's it for the video, I guess. So this is the video number 1. So stay tuned for more videos, and if you like the content, do share it, do subscribe it, and do like it out. Thanks you for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye.